Hey everyone, and welcome to this Forge College Explainer. Now, in our last lesson, we took a really close look at how agents read decentralized data, how they observe and validate both on-chain and off-chain events. But today we need to take a massive step further. We've got to figure out how to stop these hyperactive robotic AI interns from literally breaking the blockchain and, well, our wallets when they actually start working together. We are diving into coordination, governance, and ethical considerations. These are absolutely crucial, like the absolute capstones of understanding how to shape real-world agent behavior on Solana.
So here's our structural blueprint for today. First, we'll look at the coordination dance. Second, we're heading over to the manager's desk. Third, we'll dig into the HR paper trail, and we'll wrap it all up with the golden rules of agent design. Let's get right into it.
All right, part one, the coordination dance. Specifically, we're talking about verifiable intents.
So think about this. Autonomous agents need a way to agree on an action without putting their entire expensive and honestly exhausting thought process directly onto the Solana blockchain. I mean, if every agent logged every single thought on chain, transaction costs would just absolutely skyrocket and the whole system would grind to a halt, right? So we solve this cost and coordination problem using something called a verifiable intent. It's kind of like a super compact, highly efficient corporate memo that our AI interns pass around off-chain. They use this tiny serializable data model to propose an action and basically make sure they are on the exact same page before they do anything officially on the network.
The Rust data model for these little memos is minimalist, using binary serialization, but man, it is incredibly powerful. It tracks exactly who the agent is using a 32-byte agent ID, which maps perfectly to a Solana public key. Then it uses a nonce, think of it kind of like a deli ticket number, to stop simple replay attacks, so, you can't just submit the exact same action twice. It also includes a compact action payload, a timestamp to make sure the data isn't stale, and crucially, a metadata hash. That hash acts like a tamper-evident barcode, and it points directly to the full, heavy off-chain report of exactly why they want to take this action.
Chronologically, this all builds into a really strict workflow. First, our agents propose these verifiable intents off-chain. Second, multiple agents compute deterministic SHA-256 digest locally and compare them, just to make sure the math matches. Third, they exchange signatures until they hit a cooperative milestone, or a quorum, which is essentially them voting that, yes, we agree on this action. And finally, step 4, they anchor that tiny, tamper-evident hash permanently onto the blockchain.
The really crucial takeaway here is this strict division of labor. We absolutely want to keep that on-chain anchor deliberately small, deterministic, and highly cost-effective. Meanwhile, we save the off-chain storage for all the heavy lifting, the rich decision logs, the massive rationale files, the model inputs, and all that heavy analytical data. Basically, it gives us the ironclad cryptographic proof of the blockchain, but without paying those massive storage fees. Okay, but what happens when these robotic interns decide completely on their own to drain the protocol's treasury to buy volatile meme coins at 3 a.m.? Yeah, we definitely need a supervisor. Enter Section 2, the manager's desk, the human in the loop. This brings up a massive technical and honestly ethical dilemma. How do we integrate human oversight to prevent a total disaster without completely destroying the sub-second speed that makes AI agents useful in the first place? Because if an agent has to wait for a human manager to finish their morning coffee before executing a high-frequency trade, well, the opportunity's already gone, right? We solve this by splitting the workflow into distinct, manageable phases. Step 1, purely automated safety checks happen instantly. We're talking sanity ranges and cross-oracle validations. Step 2, if an intent passes those checks, but it's a high-impact decision, it goes into a pending stage. Step 3, human reviewers now have a strictly configurable time window to inspect that off-chain rationale we talked about earlier. And finally, step 4, if it's approved or if the timeout just elapses, the system executes via the anchor. But if reviewers object, they pull the emergency brake and the agent group pauses immediately. You absolutely must map your expected speed to your permissible latency budget. For example, arbitrage agents. They require sub-second latency. A lightning-fast bot literally cannot wait around, so zero human review is possible there. Instead, you rely entirely on formal verification and multi-agent consensus. On the flip side, look at treasury disbursements. Moving massive funds permits minutes or even hours of latency. So in that case, a mandatory human multisig review is totally fine. It's all about context. Our engineering blueprint gives us a really solid safety net, breaking down exactly who can stop an agent, why, and how. We essentially have 3 intervention points. First is a pre-anchor review, which gets triggered by a high-impact intent and is handled by a multisig committee holding the state. Next, if something slips through, we have a post-anchor audit.
That happens if a discrepancy is detected in the evidence and it's enforced by a governance vote. And finally, the emergency pause. That is your absolute protocol-level circuit breaker for any detected exploits.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, the HR paper trail. Because let's be real, having all this oversight only works if you can actually read the records when things eventually go wrong. Imagine a post-anchor audit reveals a massive discrepancy, like the agent made a wildly incorrect market move based on bad Oracle data. The big question is, when an agent gets it wrong, how do we technically hold a piece of autonomous code accountable? We need fully transparent decision logs to trace back the exact rationale.
The answer here is lightweight accountability. The trick is to encode the human or agent decision state as a tiny on-chain bit field, or an enum. You store just that minimal state on-chain, but you keep the incredibly detailed verbose logs off-chain, seamlessly referenced by those cryptographic hashes. This hybrid approach is a total game changer. It preserves total transparency, keeps transaction costs extremely low, and gives your governance body concrete, verifiable signals to act upon during a dispute resolution. All right, moving to Section 4, the golden rules of agent design. Let's take all of this and condense it down to 3 core principles.
Rule number 1 is all about verifiability. You should always use those compact, deterministic hashes to create a tamper-evident pointer to your off-chain logic. This anchoring natively supports your audits and dispute resolutions, because the digest proves exactly what was decided without forcing the blockchain to carry some massive text payload. Rule number 2 reminds us that context is king. You must match your coordination pattern to your specific risk and latency constraints. Use fast, automated consensus between agents for those low-latency, time-sensitive use cases. But absolutely reserve your human-in-the-loop gates for high-impact, risky decisions. The choices you make here are going to determine both your on-chain footprint and the acceptable time frame for an intervention.
And finally, rule number 3 dictates our hybrid data approach. Make accountability lightweight and actionable. We're constantly playing this balancing act between Solana's high-speed transaction constraints and the ethical need for total transparency. Small hashes on-chain, big files off-chain. This hybrid model is what gives you the concrete signals you need to act during a dispute.
Taken together, these 3 principles give you a highly practical, actionable way to build coordinated agent systems. And honestly, this tees up our next lesson perfectly. Next time, we're diving into Solana on-chain data models for AI agents, where you'll take these abstract coordination and oversight needs and map them directly into concrete data layout choices and state representations. But before we get there, I want to leave you with a final, provocative question to ponder for your own builds. How will you design your agent's latency budgets to perfectly balance autonomy with safety? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really invite you to head over to forge.college to continue your journey into Web3 and AI agent mastery with us at Forge College. See you next time.